Mansa Musa, the emperor who may have been the richest person in human history. His name was Mansa Musa. The 14th-century ruler of the Mali Empire is widely regarded by historians as one of the wealthiest people who has ever lived. His fortune was so immense that contemporary writers struggled to describe it accurately. Even today, economists and historians admit that assigning a modern dollar value to his wealth is nearly impossible. As historian Rudolph Busch, of the University of California, explained to the BBC, contemporary accounts of Musa's wealth are so breathless that it's almost impossible to get a sense of just how wealthy and powerful he truly was. Those words capture the extraordinary challenge of understanding Mansa Musa. He was not simply rich. He ruled an empire whose natural resources, strategic trade routes, political organization, and economic influence made it one of the greatest civilizations of the medieval world. To understand Mansa Musa, we must first understand the empire he inherited. Long before European colonial powers reached West Africa, the Mali Empire had become one of the world's largest and most prosperous states. Founded during the 13th century after the legendary rise of Sundiata Keita, Mali expanded across an enormous territory that included much of present-day Mali, Senegal, Guinea, Mauritania, Burkina Faso, Niger, the Gambia, and parts of Ivory Coast. Stretching thousands of miles across West Africa, the empire occupied one of the most strategically valuable locations on Earth. It controlled the southern edge of the Sahara Desert. It possessed fertile farmland. It dominated major caravan routes. Most importantly, it controlled some of the richest gold-producing regions in the world. During the Middle Ages, gold functioned as the foundation of international commerce. Kings used it to mint coins. Merchants relied upon it for trade. Governments stored it as wealth. Empires fought to obtain it. Much of the gold circulating throughout Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East originated from West Africa, and the Mali Empire stood at the center of that production. The empire also controlled valuable salt mines. Although salt may seem ordinary today, it was among the most valuable commodities of the medieval world. Before refrigeration, salt preserved food, protected livestock, and sustained armies during long campaigns. Mali controlled both. This combination transformed the empire into an economic superpower. When Mansa Musa became emperor around 1312, he inherited one of history's greatest concentrations of natural wealth. Yet he did not simply preserve the empire. He expanded it. Under his leadership, Mali extended its authority over additional territories, strengthened trade networks, increased political stability, and enhanced its international reputation. His reign represented the height of Mali's political and economic power. The event that made Mansa Musa famous throughout the world occurred in 1324. That year, he began the Islamic pilgrimage known as the Hajj, traveling from West Africa to the holy city of Mecca. The journey covered nearly 4,000 miles. It crossed deserts, kingdoms, mountain passes, and major cities throughout North Africa and the Middle East. Few rulers had ever attempted such an expedition. Even fewer did so with an entourage unlike anything the medieval world had witnessed. Historical accounts describe a caravan consisting of tens of thousands of people. The procession reportedly included soldiers, servants, government officials, scholars, merchants, attendants, and enslaved workers. Hundreds of camels carried enormous quantities of gold. Contemporary Arab historians recorded that each camel transported heavy loads of gold dust and bullion. Along the route, Mansa Musa distributed generous gifts to the poor. He rewarded religious leaders. He financed construction projects. He purchased luxury goods. He donated gold to cities that welcomed his caravan. His generosity became legendary. Nowhere did it have a greater impact than Cairo. When Mansa Musa arrived in Egypt, he spent and distributed so much gold that the local economy experienced a significant increase in the gold supply. Medieval historians, including al-Makrizi, later wrote that the sudden abundance of gold reduced its value and contributed to inflation that lasted for years. Modern economists generally agree that introducing an unusually large quantity of precious metal into a regional economy can reduce its purchasing power. Although scholars debate the exact duration and severity of the inflation, there is broad agreement that Mansa Musa's spending produced measurable economic consequences. Few individuals in history have possessed enough wealth to influence an entire regional economy simply by traveling through it. The pilgrimage also transformed Mali's international reputation. Before Mansa Musa's journey, many people beyond Africa possessed little knowledge of his empire. Afterward, maps produced in Europe frequently depicted the emperor seated upon a throne while holding a large gold nugget in his hand. One of the most famous examples appears in the Catalan Atlas of 1375, where Mansa Musa is portrayed as the powerful ruler of a land overflowing with gold. These images encouraged merchants, scholars, diplomats, and eventually European explorers to learn more about West Africa. His pilgrimage effectively introduced Mali to much of the known world. Yet Mansa Musa's greatest achievement was not simply displaying wealth. It was investing it. Unlike rulers who devoted fortunes exclusively to warfare or personal luxury, Mansa Musa financed education, architecture, religion, and scholarship. He commissioned mosques throughout his empire. He supported Islamic learning. He welcomed scholars from North Africa and the Middle East. He invested heavily in Timbuktu. Today, Timbuktu is often remembered as a remote desert city. During Mansa Musa's reign, however, it became one of the world's greatest intellectual centers. Students traveled from across Africa and the Islamic world to study there. Scholars debated mathematics. Astronomers observed the heavens. Physicians advanced medical knowledge. Jurists interpreted law. Writers copied manuscripts by hand. Teachers instructed thousands of students. The Sankore Madrasa became internationally respected as a center of higher learning. At its height, Timbuktu reportedly housed one of the largest collections of handwritten manuscripts anywhere in the world. Many covered astronomy. Others examined medicine. Some explored mathematics. Others preserved theology, philosophy, law, poetry, geography, and history. These manuscripts demonstrated that medieval West Africa possessed a sophisticated intellectual tradition long before European colonization. Mansa Musa also strengthened Mali's administrative institutions. He appointed governors, collected taxes, protected trade routes, maintained diplomatic relationships, supported judges and religious leaders. His government helped create political stability across one of Africa's largest empires. The emperor's influence extended well beyond economics. He reshaped architecture by introducing new construction techniques learned during his travels. Mosques built under his patronage blended West African traditions with North African Islamic design. Some of these structures continue standing centuries later. Historians continue debating exactly how wealthy Mansa Musa would be in today's money. Some estimates have suggested figures exceeding $400 billion. Others argue that any modern calculation is misleading because medieval empires cannot be directly compared with contemporary financial systems. Unlike modern billionaires, Mansa Musa did not simply own businesses. He ruled an empire whose economy, natural resources, taxation, trade routes, agricultural production, and mineral wealth all contributed to his power. His wealth was inseparable from the state itself. For this reason, many historians avoid assigning a precise number. Instead, they conclude that his fortune exceeded any meaningful modern comparison. The story of Mansa Musa also challenges long-standing misconceptions about African history. For centuries, many Western textbooks devoted little attention to the powerful civilizations that flourished across Africa before European colonization. Yet Mali demonstrates that medieval Africa contained organized governments, international diplomacy, advanced scholarship, architectural achievement, sophisticated commerce, and extraordinary economic strength. Its influence reached Europe, North Africa, the Middle East, and beyond. Mansa Musa's reign reminds us that history's greatest empires were not confined to Europe or Asia. Africa produced rulers whose achievements transformed global commerce and intellectual life. His legacy extends beyond wealth. He demonstrated that prosperity could finance education, knowledge, architecture, faith, diplomacy, infrastructure, and cultural advancement. More than 700 years after his reign, historians continue studying his empire because it offers lessons about leadership, economic development, and the responsible use of national wealth. His story remains one of the greatest examples of how natural resources, strategic geography, visionary leadership, and investment in human knowledge can elevate a civilization. The world remembers Mansa Musa because he possessed unimaginable riches. History remembers him because he used those riches to build something that outlived him. Empires rise. Empires fall. Fortunes disappear. But the institutions of learning, culture, and civilization that Mansa Musa helped create continue to inspire historians, economists, and scholars around the world. His wealth made headlines in the 14th century. His legacy continues shaping history in the 21st.